Greetings, greetings, and welcome to Paintingu. Hello, my beloved Japanites. Are you well this beautiful day? Another glorious day for Paintingu, another glorious day when the heavenly light of heaven shines brightly upon my Ricker birdie friend and my Ricker beru friend. A Mongolian bear, I have recently decided, is Mini Beru. I shall need to fresh out the individual storylines for my Ricker Paintingu posse that I have here on Paintingu. As you all should know by now, Garos, our resident 850-pound feline, Siberian tiger formerly addicted to cocaine, or cocaina, as some say. We have his storyline. Tobias Beakus Crows, however, was simply named such because I said his name was to be confirmed. And that's really it. I think I said I was gonna... I found him in a jungle, smoking, in a in a dark, recessed corner of a jungle. I found this smoking crow. Are all of my animals gonna have like former drug addictions or something? Maybe, like, I think they will. I think they should. Growth, conquering your demons, madness, carnegie, and creative. These are the spiritual essences of Paintingu. Overcoming your demons, using your creative talents, whatever they may be, to increase your quality of life. Excuse me, while I descend to proper Paintingu posture. Ah, excellent. I have reft the pillow on the stool, so perhaps my ass will last a bit longer this day. Right. A quick dinging of the dong, I think, is in order. Tobias, shall we? The cleansing vibrations of the dong soothe one's chi and allow us to prepare for Paintingu. For one cannot just simply Paintingu. One must prepare. One must gather your chi. One must also turn up the fucking saturation and brightness on this bitch because I am sick of this rack of intensity. A moment where I prog stuff in and prog stuff out to see if I can satisfy myself with the colors of the... Like, sometimes it's nice and bright, and then sometimes it's not. I don't know what this auto-correction bullshit is on my camera, but it often annoys me. It seems to go a tad dur from time to time. But I suppose, if you've been following along, you know that we are in Zimbabwe, and we have created a open-top laboratory in Zimbabwe. See? There it goes again. It's gone a bit darker. I hate this. But no matter. This quick-thinking water buffalo, which you can barely make out because he's now covered in heat beam eyebrast and potions and juices and such. Part of me wants to apply more of a detailed and textured expression to his rab coat to make it more defined. The female was commenting on the chaotic and messy nature of the current Paintingu. I did not heed her words. I said to her, "Get out. You do not appreciate the Paintingu. Those who do not appreciate Paintingu can fuck off." If you think this is intelligible or chaotic, you should go way back to approximately a year ago and witness the utter debauchery of the first Paintingus. Paintingu has humble beginnings. trying to think, what was the first one I did? I think the first painting go I did was the Gates of Hell. And it was like absolute trash. Like, ugh. If I keep this up though, I mean, like 10 years from now, if I keep this up, I am going to keep this up. That's what she said. Like, if you look back just in the past year, in the space of a year, this stream has like evolved like a fucking Pokemon, and so has my skills at just simply painting stuff with no drawings, no sketching, no planning, no, you know, vision in mind or whatever like that. I just pull shit from the hat and apply it to the canvas. And a lot of the time it's not even the hat. The chameleon, the spider. Many aspects, many things in this current painting go and previous painting goes are simply machinations of my mind. I am reminded regularly of the Xenoboon from a previous painting go. Ripping the head clean off a Jewish elephant. A fearsome creature indeed. I wish to create a t-shirt of this Xenoboon thingy. But, all in good time. I have many projects that I currently have to work hard at and finish. I have 2 commissions. I have tactical turtles to paint, to design and paint. Still, lots to do. Lots to do. Which is always a good thing. Staying busy is good. It is indeed good to be busy. If you are busy, it is much more difficult to allow the ever-present darknesses of life to overwhelm you. As a Shaolin master says, and there's this guy called like Wei Li, Master Wei Li, I think his name is, I'm not sure. He's big on YouTube the last few years. These guys called the Mulligan Brothers did a bit like a 2.5 hour documentary on him, but it's like one of his, he did a TED talk where he was like, people in the past didn't have time to get depressed because they were constantly working, they were constantly doing something physical. And I think there's an incredible amount of truth to this, where if you just keep the engine running, if you just, to quote that glorious little brew frisch from Finding Nemo that was unfortunately voiced by Ellen DeGenerate, just keep swimming, you know? Don't let life get you bogged down. I was watching that quote from Sylvester Stallone last night in a YouTube video where it's like, the world is cruel and relentless, you know? I'm paraphrasing, obviously. It's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep going. And I think you can tell by looking at my face. I have been pounded. It's like a few times life has hit me with things where I've like become depressed, suicidal. And I think a lot of it is thinking too much. Especially as a creative type, it is often too easy to become lost in the internal workings of your mind. You must regularly focus up and just keep swimming. So, sip sip. Spill coffee all over your chin and your kimono. Ugh. There's nothing like some cold coffee to keep you going. Okay. I have placed my Roy Rag upon my Demi Divinity. This is one of the many signs that Paintingu is about to begin. What are the other signs? There are many of them. And this is one of them. Oh, fuck, that was loud. My ears have been violated. Dip, dip, dippery, doora. Dick Fordu! Antonio! Griffu! Griffu's back! How are you, Griffu? Brother Tuakaru! Are you ready for the goo? Oh, Groya Skepu. Allow the music to permeate your spine, for it is time! We must gather our tree, for it is 3 minutes past 3. Boy. A lot of threes going around right now. 3 body problem and all that shit. Right. I think I have everything. Have I got my squirt? It's Tuesday, my beautiful mortars. So, assemble yourselves before me and prepare to witness the unforgettable, the undeniable, the relentless, the resounding, booming, utterly fantastic, dairy PEINTEINGU PEINTEINGU. It's PEINTEINGU. It's PEINTEINGU. PEINTEINGU. Painting you. Painting me. It's PEINTEINGU. Painting you. Painting me. It's PEINTEINGU. It's fucking goo. Painting you. Painting me. It's PEINTEINGU. It's fucking goo. Yo! We return, probably for the last time, to the beautiful South African place known as Zimbabwe. We have created, over the past few days, a open-top laboratory situated in the south of Africa, and a quick-thinking buffalo has granted himself the power of heat beam eye blastu with many chemical machinations. You can see the glorious yellow fluid reeking down to his mouther and down his labcoata to the grounder. He has succumbed to the madness of chemical application. He has consumed, much to his both detriment and advantage. I mean, I don't know how you can argue that heat beam eye blast isn't an advantage in some aspects. He is now joined by a fucking huge spider. I mean, in comparison. I mean, look at that shit. It's fucking big. One of the biggest spiders I've ever seen. He's beautiful. He's a combination of devilishly fierce and devilishly cute. Look at him. He's fucking adorable. PEINTEINGU. The glorious light of heaven shines brightly upon the Mapu, but not the PEINTEINGU. So, I am going to try and fix this right now. Now I want to listen to Korn. Right now. I heard a Papa Roach song recently that I haven't heard in fucking years, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking want to listen to lots of Papa Roach now. Which is funny, because I approach. There, that's a bit better. But it's just it's going to adjust repeatedly. It's very annoying. I am not an expert in the many details of streaming settings and such. And it quite often vexes me. I want the painting to be brighter, but no matter how much brighter I put in the painting, it just seems to adjust. I don't know why. It's really fucking annoying. Are we going to Sweden soon? I don't know. I have no idea. Is Sweden in Africa? If not, then no. I know, we've ended up in Africa like so many fucking times. It's actually hilarious. I've begun to think that Africa wants us to paint it. Many, 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 many times. But, in fairness, many of the paintingos that have been situated in Africa have turned out very well. You know? Bit of jungle, bit of sand, some ferocious creatures. Always an excellent combination for an entertaining painting. The painting is actually painting me. This is possible. This is very possible. One can only imagine eventually the paintingos will become so powerful that they will suck you inside of them. Like that movie, Tron. This is no painting. This is a realm all in its own right. Come here to me, you. You please, for the love of God, engage brightness. Like, I actively see the thing fucking adjust. I'm not gonna fuck with it now, cause like I'm just gonna end up pissing myself off. Like the few times where I've attempted to fucking like change settings live on stream have just resulted in me getting annoyed and about 5 minutes of dead air. It's like, fuck it, just roll with it. Like, it's one of those things where you're just like, but it's annoying me. Let it go, Defenderoo. Let it go. To strike your feud with the fucking Monkey King. You must let it go. Are you back already, my love? Right. Okie dokie. We're nearly finished with this one. I can barely hear you. I can hear rumblings in the distance. What? Yeah, I didn't know. Like, I'm just making sure. I was only asking questions. Right. Methinks just some more random animals and maybe yeah, just some finer details, perhaps some like mad scratchings on the walls, you know, like I could put some like made up mathematical equations carved into the wall over by the power box. I could also put more details into this power box and do some wires coming out of it. I could put something on the door, make the door more interesting looking. But other than that, we're nearly finished in Zimbabwe. So for that and many other reasons, today's painting go might be a bit shorter. I have many things to do this fine Tuesday. And I have oppressed you all, and I have been a merciful demigod, and provided you with up to 3 hours of entertainment recently, at the cost of my ass becoming so numb. Painting go, I can no longer fear it. Painting go. Ah, Stabberoo! Reminding everyone to like and subscribe or you have no honor. How are you, brother? Are you well? Painting go. Right. It is time to get these bitches wet. It's painting goo. Painting you! Painting me! It's painting goo. It's fucking goo. I was going to press a speech bubble. I want the spider to be saying something funny. Perhaps the chameleon can also be saying something funny. And why not? I could also give the buffalo a speech bubble saying heat beam eyebreast attained. So, let's fucking go. For it's painting goo! Painting goo. It's painting goo. Let's fucking go. Are you saying stuff? Oh. Bye-bye. Right. Now that I have properly wet and beaten my bitch, she is ready for the goo. Defender lass has the most honor. It fucking better after the punishment it's received. Phrasing. Oh. Right. I think I will place, yeah, the speech bubbles will take me long enough because they usually take me a while. But yeah, I kind of want to do some mathematical equations on the wall over there. I want to make the door more interesting. So, let's get to it! Just fucking do it! Bit of red. I got a notice in the door this morning that there's going to be from the 29th of this month for the next 18 months there is going to be like a major transformation of the surrounding road area and structure. This is something like since we moved into Tipperary, it's become apparent because you can see signs everywhere. The local community has been asking for a what's the term? Like a bypass around the town, so that the town can return to a more pedestrian area instead of all this traffic running through it. And it would appear, finally, after years of petitioning and begging the government for such a change, it would appear that it's finally happening, you know? So, change is good, most of the time. But it's going to be interesting to see how much disruption it causes. Painting! Goo-goo! Goo-goo! Yes! You know what that means. Begin crapping for painting goo. Do it now! Do it immediately! Crap for painting goo, I will have no honor. Filthy mortar! Crap for painting goo! Oh! Glorious Gapple! What does the door need? Hinges! Well, I don't know if it needs hinges, but most doors have hinges, so let's give this door some hinges. If you're watching Star Trek, doors don't have hinges. They just have two guys standing off screen going tsh, tsh. Stabrew more than likely is the only one that gets that reference.
Fill up your year with great
Philip!
travel moments.
Who the fuck is Philip? Tell him to get the fuck off my stream! It's time to dance with some demons as the demon hunter himself arrives! Brother, how are you? Are you aware? Ah. The tunes of PEINTEINGU forever bring me to Raifu. Paint, paint! Go, go! Paint, paint. Goo, goo. Paint, paint. Fuck you. Paint, paint. You're quite were today. Excellent. Is it the weather? Is your chi throwing were? Did you get raid last night? What has you in a particularly good mood? Paint, paint. It's like one of the main go-tos in our society. Like it's like you see someone in a particularly good mood. It's like, did you get laid? Is that why you're in good? Like that's the only thing that could really elevate your mood. Like, do you know what I mean? You know, not that you're like your 3-year-old's, you know, fucking, you know, football team won last night and he was like fucking ecstatic about it, or like, I don't know how many 3-year-olds are on football teams, but you know what I mean. Like, there is an infinite amount of reasons why one would be in a particularly good mood. Painting go 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 go. Yeah. 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 Hey-ya. Painting go 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 go. Painting go 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 go. That's hilarious. Oh, Three Top Bear has an excellent sense of humor. Sweden, apparently, is now a place in North Africa. Like, oh god. Go 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 go. Has anyone ever been to Warsaw? The female is desperate to go on a holiday. Paint, paint. Warsaw was one of the places she was looking at. Paint, paint. Oh, cold coffee. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Goo goo. Paint, paint. Go, go. Paint, paint. Go, go. Paint, paint. Go, go. Painting. Go, go. Paint, paint. Go, go. Paint, paint. Painting. Google. When I do not sing the paintingu, I expect you to sing the paintingu. If you do not sing a wrong to paintingu, you have no honor. Paying for paintingu, singing a wrong to paintingu, liking and subscribing to paintingu, sharing paintingu, doing crips of paintingu. These are all things that bring one much honor on painting. I have recently come to the conclusion that it must be time to finally share the goo with the rest of the realm. My beloved Japanites, the time has come to promote painting. How to promote painting? I cannot. I might go back to doing some of the shorts, actually. I used to do a fucking Instagram like intro like every day for the stream. I think I just like burnt myself out because I literally did one like every day, like. But I miss the whole "you there! Have you paid for painting?" Like, I miss that theme. And then it'll force me even more to make the monkey, because I want to incorporate the. I think one of the funniest fucking things I've done in like the last year is that clip where I was like, another glorious day for painting go. Monkey, fetch me my fan. I'm just sitting there being like, how am I gonna make it out like there's a monkey? And then I was like, fuck it, I'll just make monkey noises, like, you know, like. It was like, and I got a good response, like even on Facebook, like from people like I know from the past and stuff like that. Even laughed at it and shit. Like, there's just something funny about like LARPing as a Japanese demigod, being like, "Monkey, fetch me my fan." And then the Valentine's thing I did, where like he handed me a heart and I just ripped it up, like. Fetch me my fan, creature. It's kind of like, it's essentially the same thing that Owen does with Coddington. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I gotta have this monkey that I treat like absolute shit because I was sent here by the Monkey King. Oh man, if Painting You ever became like an animated short series, I think I'd start crying out of joy. Seriously, like. I'd love to have a cartoon intro to this. It'd be so fucking funny, like. Today on Painting You. You there? Have you paid for Painting You? No one can ever question Tuaker and D-Bear's honor. Tuaker and D-Bear's honor, at least for the next year, is like fucking cast in iron. Like, seriously, bro, your financial support over the last like couple of weeks, like over the whole thing, even like is greatly appreciated. Like, there's been many a time where even the small ones that you throw me, the small super chats, like. They make a difference. Because I'm so broke, even a couple of quid makes a difference. I like it though, I like being the underdog. I have, like, as much as it, like, stresses me the fuck out and stuff for various reasons, I do like being the underdog. I like being the struggling artist that is, like, constantly under some kind of, like, mental pressure. It adds to my, it adds to the crazy factor. Like, sometimes I feel like fucking Doc Brown or whatever his fucking name is out of Back to the Future. I kind of have that energy about me where I'm like, you know, instead of Marty, it's Monkey, you know, like, and I just have mad hair, like. I fucking love it. It's hilarious. Like, I've genuinely fallen in love with this stream. I love doing this shit. It's so much fun. I recently seen on Instagram that there's another guy that I followed for ages called Anthony Wheeler. He does these really cool ink and watercolor cartoon drawings. And he's worked with people like Gearbox, who do, I think they did fucking, what was it? What's that fucking game called again? Paint! Borderlands. He worked on one of the Borderlands expansions. Tiny Tina's Wonderful Castle or some shit. It's called, like, paint. But he does this thing where he has, like, loads of these cards that have different options on them, and he started to do something similar to what I do with the hat. And I seen it on Instagram there the other day, and I was like, no way! Like, that's awesome. Like, because I think that's a great thing to do as an artist, is to just be like, don't think about what you're going to do. Leave it up to something else. Leave it up to, like, something as random as you can. And that, like, increases your ability to just be like, okay, like, you're literally getting told to, like, no. Like, I pulled quick water buffalo, and I can't even remember what the fucking third thing was. Was it chemicals or alchem? Like, I can't fucking remember. I can't remember what the third thing was. It might have been lab, I'm not sure, or laboratory, I'm not sure, like. But, is it still here? I think it's still in the bin here. Oh, room! That's what it was, yeah, just a room. I pulled out quick, water buffalo, and room. And I got this. You just, like, you can't argue with, like, you can't argue with that, like, do you know what I mean? It's just the ability to create parameters that support the creative process, you know? Just be like, this, and this. Do it now. It's like, I don't know if any of you guys ever watched Lee Evans. Lee Evans was one of my favorite comedians, like, a long time ago. Really, really, really good comedian, like, very funny. Some great bits, very animated. He was always pouring sweat on stage. It's just like, there was this bit he had where he was like, he went to Germany, and he was like being interviewed, like, for, like, you know, it was like a pre stand-up set interview where they were, like, checking him out basically to see, like, you know, what he was like and whether he was, like, applicable to their culture or their setup or whatever. And he said that when he sat down, they were just like, Mr. Evans, hello. And then, like, 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes into the conversation, they were like, do something funny now. And he's just like, you know, like, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, it's like, it trains you to just, like, be real, like, in the moment and, like, just off the cuff and improvise and shit, where it's like, this, and this, and you're like, okay, well, you can sit there for 5 minutes or fucking 5 hours and be like, how am I gonna do a quick water buffalo in a room? Like, what am I, like, you know, am I just gonna do a water buffalo sprinting in a random room? What will I do? Like, and, like, literally what I've trained myself to do is feel the flow of consciousness, where it's just like your gut it's kind of like a combination between like, you know, the spiritual ether consciousness and like your gut feeling, which I think are like kind of connected and probably very similar, if not the same thing. But it's like stuff will just come to you, and you're just you can just like allow it to flow through you. I've heard artists describe themselves and describe art or artists as that, where it's like, I think even Owen has said that, where it's like, it's not that I'm incredibly talented. It's not that I like have all this like, you know, incredibly powerful imagination or whatever. Like, I'm just allowing myself to become a conduit for the flow, you know. And I like, that's why I've said before with the symmetrical paintings that I do, is like, I just do shapes and I just like feel the flow, and I do what looks cool, like, you know, I suppose, which is a personal preference, like. But it's also not just a personal preference. It's like, what have I seen in the 30 odd years that I've been alive that like appeals to me, and I know will appeal to like to at least some other people, and you just like let it happen, and like don't let your ego get in the way, you know. Paint. Painting goo goo. I love that there's like literally only like fucking a handful of people in the chat, and sometimes the chat like gets ahead of me so quick. Oh, the beautiful weather today. Yeah, like, yeah, the fucking weather has me in a great mood as well. Like, despite getting like fucking fairly intense sunburn on my forearms, I'm used to it though. I've been tomatified by the fucking sun plenty times in my life. Good old Swedistan. Poland, a proper white country. Yeah, tell me about it. Like, one of my best friends for years, was a Polish lad who came from Poland when he was like 7, I think, or some shit, and grew up in Ireland. Really cool dude, and like genuine sense of like honor, you know. He's one of the few guys that like I only recently spoke to him, you know, like a few weeks ago or something, like briefly. It's not like we talk all the time. But like, he's just one of those dudes that like I'll always have time for him, because he just has a sense of honor about him, you know. He's just a cool dude, like. And I'm a big fan of like what I've experienced to be Polish culture. You know, like all the meats that they eat, and the way they eat the meats, and the way they make the meats. And then like there's like other, like their junk food and their desserts and stuff are fucking delicious as well. Their relationship with alcohol seems to be like in a certain aspect worse, but in another aspect healthier than the Irish culture's relationship with alcohol. Like Polish dudes, from my experience, tend to be able to hold their liquor a bit better. But obviously, it's not always the case. Despite the AIDS and whatnot. Stiff upper lip, my lad. What the fuck? Oh, you're sick as a dog. Oh, no way. You're sick as a foreign dog. What's wrong with you? You got like the flu or some shit? Has your toxic road become too much for your body to handle? That's one of my favorite sayings, like, stiff upper lip, chap. Rad? I am no rad. I am 10 years your elder. Young cocky pup with much beard on her. I know, it's hilarious, like me, when me and Demon Hunter grow our beards out, we can literally pass for like 10 or 15 years older than we actually are, like. Oh, that's hilarious. Is there a cast in iron badge? I could make a sticker. I could make a Paintingu stickers that like represent your level of honor. You know, that'd be hilarious. fucking hilarious. I'm a combination of like a bit delirious and wired today. Like I keep seeing myself in the screen, and like my fucking eyes. When I didn't get to bed till like 5 or 6 a.m. Well, not that I didn't get to bed. I didn't get to sleep till about 5 or 6 a.m. I just couldn't go to sleep. Like I ended up staying up and like doing a lot of painting and work on projects and stuff. Like I think it's like the fact that like there's such an overwhelming amount of different energy now because the sun is like finally here and the heat is here now, that like my what do you call it, like my fucking circadian rhythm has like switched now, where like I'll probably like, you know, do that whole siesta thing and like rest more during the day and then be up really late at night when it's nice and cool. And like there's something about painting at night in the summer that's like totally different than painting at night in the winter. And it's not just the temperature. I think I am actually becoming sensitive to different like frequencies of like energy and shit. Whereas before I would find myself just being, why do I feel so crap? Or why am I so wired right now? I'm now consciously aware of like certain things where I'm like, oh okay. Like I was saying with the painting, like, you know, I find myself being more capable of recognizing a flow and going with it and not thinking about it too much. Yeah. I too miss the IG shorts. Lets me know if the goo is good to goo. Yeah, like I think I might start doing them again. I think I might start doing them again. There was a few reasons why I stopped doing them. Like, they took up a lot of space on my phone, but like, you know, I can just fucking delete them when they're done, or like put them on the laptop and shit. And then I did kind of get burnt out. And then the female did make a good point that like I was essentially doing the same thing all the time, but slightly different. So like I kind of disagreed with her in a sense, because similar to Owen, like he has a really good point that like like people like us love teams. Like I fucking love teams. I spoke about this recently where like, oh, Gloria Skepu. Creating parameters which limit something ironically actually like, you know, allows for more creative genius to happen, which you'd think sounds counterintuitive, but it actually makes sense. It's like, so if you only have three, like you have like, you know, 3 set rules to a team or something, like you've 3 particular parameters to a situation or a team. How you really flex your creative juices is how many different iterations of that thing can you do. Kind of like the tactical turtles that I'm doing at the moment. It's like they're turtles and they're military and they're like, you know, tactical military-esque. Right. How many different versions of them can you do? And the reality is almost infinite, just like anything, like, you know. So from my perspective, when I was doing the Instagram shorts, it was like, yeah, they did all like start the same, essentially. Where I was like, you there! And then I'd flick the fan out and all, and there was like this, like, you know, set parameter to it, but there would be different content within it and then towards the end, and then it would end the same. So it's the same beginning and the same end, but the middle was always different, like, you know. And I like that kind of more nuanced entertainment that like filters out people with a low attention span or like a lack of, you know, appreciation for like creativity and shit. Because like the type of person that's like, you know, oh, it's the same thing again, like, but they don't actually wait to see if it is actually the same thing again. It's like, well, then you're not the type of person I want watching my shit, because you're not going to appreciate it. You're just going to look at a lot of the stuff that I do and go, oh, it's the same thing. It's like, but it's not though, you know. It's like the devil is in the details. Like, it's like, you know, upon closer inspection you glean more truth out of it, like, you know. And I genuinely do love doing them. A lot of the time, like, despite the burnout it did cause me in a lot of ways, it also allowed me to like fuck around with different teams. Like, you know, it's like, I'm pretty sure that's where I came up with the monkey. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But it's just one of those things that I'm like, fuck it, yeah, I'll go back to doing them. And I've done a lot of that in the last like couple of years, where I've like flip-flopped. I've tried something new, see if it works, do it for X amount of time, see how much you can get out of it or something, and then, you know, kind of like flogging the dead horse till it's fucking glue. But even then, it's like when you think about it, like if you know, it's like, oh, you're beating a dead horse. It's like, yeah, but if I keep beating the dead horse, it'll eventually become glue, and then I can make something with the glue. You know, like it's like that's how I think. It's like there are no limits apart from the limits that we set ourselves. You know. Speech bubble 1 is nearly dry by the looks of it. Yeah, it's pretty much dry. Paint! Speech bubble 2. Paint. Goo! Paint! Goo! Paint! Like, even what I'm doing right now, a while ago, the painting goos kind of like took on this theme where there was like there was always like a giant version of an animal, like a kaiju, and then the military would get involved. Like there was the one with the ninja. There was that's one of my favorite painting goos so far. Is I did one in oh, what country was it? I think it was one of the stands or something. I can't. It was like Uzbekistan or some shit. I can't remember. Like, but I just did this like giant ninja in the background, throwing a table overhead at a fucking city. That was one of the first. I think that was, I don't know actually if that was one of the first times that it was like, you have no honor. And the military was like blowing holes in them and all. There was like blood all over and shit. Like, I think that one and the Xenoboon one, with the like fucking submarines in the sky and shit. Like, so far I have a few painting goos that I genuinely like really like how they came out. Like the one with the Flamingo Gang. The Flamingo Gang was fucking hilarious. I loved that one. Mainly because the big flamingo in the foreground is fucking derpy as fuck. Look. It makes me laugh so much. Damn Canada won't let me claim you as a dependent on my taxes. Say you have to be under my roof. Their rollerblading knows no bounds. I think that's hilarious. I think that idea of all the Japanites claiming me on their tax as a dependent or something, and it's just been so fucking funny. It's like the most Jewish fucking thing we could possibly do in terms of like creating a self-sustaining economy, and like I get paid and can make a living, and at the same time you guys all get your money back. That would be glorious. Like being able to describe that to like my family members or something, where it's like fucking it's like, so like how much money do you make? An infinite amount. Like, it does not matter how much they spend on me, they get it all back. Oh, that'd be fucking hilarious. Oh god. Iron Man Maru! Ergamu! Oh, paintingu! It's funny you say, Dick Ford, that I'm going to start doing a sombrero stream after this siesta. That would be quite funny if I just got a sombrero and a fucking poncho and some maracas. Hey Holmes, it's time to paint. Yeah, doing a Spanish, like a Mexican one would be pretty funny. Like, when I have enough money, I'm gonna start getting other costumes. And yes, I'm getting a fucking Nazi uniform. It's fucking happening. I want to do more. I want to do that more than I want to do blackface. I want to do Pimpingu, where I'm like donned in blackface with black hands, but I'm not going to do my palms, so they're still white. And I'm going to have gold chains and like, you know, gold frameless, gold glasses that like it's just the frame. There's no fucking like there's no actual lens. I've already got a pimp hat because of Demon Hunter Bear, and like that's just gonna be hilarious. I want to get a cane and all, like paint. It'll be fucking brilliant. Like, but I want to do Malarai with hair something. I don't know. Fucking like paint. And it won't be called like PEINTEINGU. It'll be called like Malarai. Willkommen, meine Lieben, auf Malarai. Jetzt wir machen ein PEINTEINGU. Like, I'd probably be crying laughing while I was doing it, like, you know? It'd be fucking hilarious. PEINTEINGU, go. Yeah, like I could put a pinata in the background and just like smack it occasionally with a stick. Paint! Mexico would be hilarious. Mexico! Oh, fuck. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's like teams and like fucking... Oh, it'd be fucking brilliant, like, that's essentially how, like I didn't come up with Defenderu, demigod of PEINTEINGU and all this fuck. I came up with all of that after people like, there was like a running gag, not like a running gag, it was like a fucking inside joke that a few of the members of the Irish Bear Clan were making back in the day, where they were like describing me as like a homeless samurai, that like I have homeless samurai energy, I have like Ronin energy and stuff, and they just like kind of ran with that theme, and then I started doing the PEINTEINGU, and when I first started doing the PEINTEINGU, I did it in like I put my fucking house coat on and put the fucking belt around my head as a headband and all. Like, I recently did that again when I put the kimono and the headband in the wash. It's like, you know, OG PEINTEINGU comes back, like, and that's why I came up with all of this. I was like, okay, so like, let's like flesh it out, like, you know, why am I wearing a kimono and headband, and why do I have my hair in a top knot and all this shit, and blah blah blah, like, you know. And you start just like, you know, like I've been saying since the start of this stream, it's like you just start going with the flow, and you just start like let it happen organically, like, and it's seriously so much better than trying to like sit down and meticulously design something, is to just like start with a basic premise and just let it grow like a fucking sapling, like, you know? You get some of the funniest shit ever, like, it's so satisfying, like. Paint! Paint! Like, I could do one where I was a mad scientist. I'd kind of look like a fucking, like, really old version of Dexter's Laboratory. You know, like, because he was a ginge and shit. Like, I could get, like, really thick spectacles and stuff, and... like, that'd be hilarious, because it'd probably be really hard for me to paint with them on and all, like, and the PEINTEINGUs would look horrible. Oh, that'd be fucking brilliant. I just try to, like, instead of trying to actually do a coherent painting, I just try to, like, do any, like, simple shape. Oh, God. Glorious Gepu. Yeah, I'm fucking wired right now. I think this is my second cup of, like, powerful coffee. And my body has had, like, a few hours sleep. A fucking female's alarm kept going off, and like, you know, it like doze back off and then wake up again, and then like doze back off and wake up again. Like, oh, it was horrible. I ended up like getting kind of irritable, and I turned over in the bed and I was like, pick a time to get up, and get up. Like, man, the default iPhone like alarm is like one of the most fucking annoying things I've ever heard in my life. The amount of times I've wanted to just turn on a fucking dime, grab her phone and mill it against the wall, like. Oh god. Oh, it only gets worse as it gets colder. And because I have butter and stuff in it, it's getting like chunky. Ugh. I had to fucking when I got on the laptop this morning to set everything up, like my hands are like a little bit shredded up from the garden work I was doing over the weekend, because only fags wear gloves, and I was like literally like pulling like thorn bushes out of a fence and shit, like, and my hands got a bit shredded, like. But I always like that feeling. I always like that feeling of like calluses and blisters and like minor superficial damage and stuff. There's probably like, you know, a mild level of like you know, fucking sadism to it or some shit. Like I want to be punished for some reason. Like, personally I don't think so. I genuinely think it's like, I like making myself tougher by causing myself manageable amounts of pain and stress. It like hardens you, like, you know, and then you get that sense of like empowerment and progress and achievement, especially as a man, from making yourself harder. Phrasing. Tougher. We'll go with tougher. Making yourself tougher. Wet Nakaru? you mean wet Bakaru? Wet Baku. Oh my god, that'd be brilliant. We can't forget about that. I have to like write that down or some shit. Don't let me forget about the like branding idea of making my own paints and like calling them like really offensive things, like lesbian hair blue and fucking like redneck red. Redneck red isn't that offensive. Like, it probably would be to some people, like, but like I mean like really offensive, like, you know, like Velcro black. Like, or like, you know, like nappy head black, or like fucking like nigger black wouldn't work in my opinion, because it's like, it's kind of like obvious, do you know what I mean? Where it's like nigger, like, you know, negro, like it, like that is black, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like but I don't know, maybe nigger black would work. Like pasty ass white bitch white would be fucking hilarious. Like cracker white. Lesbian hair blue was a good one. I think Demon Hunter Bear said that one. That was a fucking hilarious one. Lesbian hair blue, like. Pussy pink, but that's kind of that. I mean pussy as in like coward, but like if you just said pussy pink, people would immediately think of like a vagina. So that's not like offensive. That's just like lewd and like you know, degenerative, obscene. Like, I like offensive stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you could tell. Like, but like, I want stuff to be like triggering to people of a lower IQ and vibration. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it does. Like, that's why I love Owen's stream so much. Is like, he gets the people going. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was talking to Iron Man Bear the other day about that, where it's like, the reason why Owen has so much clout is because he has that rhetoric ability to go, oh, I'll say this, and all the snakes and demons rear their heads up and go like, ah! And that's what he wants, because that then it allows him to play a game of like, to me, it, like, the way I could articulate this best right now is like, you ever played a game, Guess Who, where like you like knock them down based on their traits, you know? It's like he was saying about like what people take pride in and what people have shame for, when he was doing the stocks back in the carnival days. And like, if you get really good at like pulling truth out of a crowd, one of the most entertaining parts of that is like watching people like freak out because their sacred cow is being like offended or some shit, like, you know. And I personally can't get enough of it, like, you know what I mean? Like, I I love it when you're reading comments on a YouTube thing or something, like, and you just, like, you can tell that people are, like, just, like, how dare you? Like, I just, like, I don't know, like, I mean, like, I can understand, and I suppose there is a logical argument for that, like, it's kind of mean. It's kind of mean-spirited to do that. But the intention, just like causing myself pain or stress, the intention is to make you stronger. The intention is to pull you closer to truth. The intention is to, like, you know, like a fucking butterfly, like, to shed your former self and become something greater, you know? Here's some fucking gravy that I didn't know about butterflies. They actually, when they go into their chrysalis to, like, gestate for a while and then come out as a butterfly, I didn't know this. There is a point where they go from caterpillar to straight up goo. Like, they become liquid and then become solid again. How crazy is that? They melt themselves into a fluid and then re-solidify as something completely different. Could you imagine how painful that would be? To, like, reduce yourself to a liquid. And apparently, like, I don't know how the fuck a scientist managed to figure this out, but allegedly they remember being a caterpillar. So, like, think about what that means. Like, do you know what I mean? That, like, you know, like, the issues are in the tissues. Like, every cell of your body, your physical form, your material self, holds memory, just like water. So it's not just your mind or your consciousness, like. And they actually bring this point up in that series that I've been watching at the moment, Altered Carbon, where they can download their consciousness into different, what they call sleeves, like different bodies, right? And it comes up in season 2 that the bodies themselves actually hold memory. So, like, there's a scene where he has to, like, injure himself to bring him back to that state of mind so he can remember what happened when he got injured. Because the sleeve blocked the memory out because it was so traumatic. And he, like, relives the trauma. And, like, I'm big into that stuff. Like, I don't really have the time to, like, you know, be doing all that, like, transformative shit. Like, I need to fucking make money and, you know, ease the amount of financial stress on the female and stuff, like. Well, I don't have to, but I believe it is my duty to do so, and I want to do that. But I would love to have the time to, like, go to, like, you know, even if I had to leave the country to, like, find people who really know what they're doing. I'd love to engage in all of this stuff, like, even the stuff like, you know, urine therapy. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, I drink my own piss for a week to see what it does. Like, that's where I'm at mentally, where I'm like, I will try all this shit to actually see, you know, the truth of it from my perspective, you know? And most people aren't like that now, you know? I know a lot of you guys are the same. Because, like, you're not seeking you're not seeking satisfaction. You're not seeking an egotistical contentment. You're not seeking some kind of, you know, desire. You know, I know in a sense you could argue that I desire truth, but, like, what I seek is knowledge, and the knowledge that knowledge is accurate. So I suppose you could describe it more succinctly as being, I seek a level of conscious discernment to be able to absorb as much data as possible and turn it into knowledge. You know? I want to, like, absorb as much information as I can and use my discernment to turn it into knowledge. And, like, I just see that as, like, I suppose you could describe it as, like, purely utilitarian, where, like, I see all of this stuff as useful. you know? Paint. Goo. Oh no! Speedy Gonzales! Need to commission Taylor for the costumes. Oh man, that'd be hilarious. If I actually got like a really nice looking Nazi uniform. Like, made by a bear. Like, made by bears. 4 bears. Original Nazi fucking, like. I'd want a Nazi general uniform with the hat and everything, like with the skull on it and shit. I think it'd be really funny to do one as a stormtrooper with the voice modulator. Like, I'll just do loads of space stuff. I can like just do loads of portraits of Darth Vader. I'll do like a wanted poster of Skywalker and Han Solo. I don't know how like off the wall funny that would be, but it'd be like a bit of fun for a while if I was like sitting here in a fucking stormtrooper outfit painting stuff. Man, if you had any idea how hard that'd be with the fucking like it'd be like I'm wearing like shades and shit, like I'm trying to like the helmet would be getting in the way and all, like. Oh man, there's like it's endless. The possibilities for Paintingu are endless, and I love it. Salmon snatch pink. Jesus Christ. That's what I mean. It's like that's funny, but like it's not like. I want it to be. Well, I suppose that is offensive because it's like fishy pussy, like, do you know what I mean? But it's like I don't want to be obscene. I don't like obscene comedy. I swear, like I genuinely don't. I relate to Owen in that sense. Not with the whole ass and farting stuff, because I think fart jokes are hilarious, and every time fucking I fart or the female farts, like, it just makes me laugh. Every time I fucking like squirt some paint out of a tube, like, or anytime anything does that, if something just goes, I'm like, like there's a child in me that still finds that stuff hilarious, like, but I will admit I don't find poo or shit or feces like funny, you know. I have a really good internal compass. From what I can tell, anyway, I have a really good internal compass of what is like funny, paint, and what is just like degenerate, you know, paint. What time is it now? The female wants to know how much longer I will go for. I'll do another half hour. I'll call it a quarter to. Oh. Paint. Goo. Painting. Goo. I seen this hilarious fucking what was it? Fucking. It was on YouTube. Where I don't know if this was actually a thing, but I wouldn't be surprised. So Burger King and McDonald's at one stage tried to do a third pounder instead of a quarter pounder, and it didn't sell because people thought it was smaller. And the thing was like, you know, oh, I wish I could get it up on my phone. Like, how funny is that? Like, you know, it's just hilarious. Where is Sister Corberu? I don't know. I hope she's alright. I'm sure she's fine. You know, she's probably just busy doing shit. Like, Sleepy House hasn't been here in a while either. Like, or maybe she has. She just hasn't been in the chat. I think it's hilarious that like it's just like 5 or 6 of us, maybe 8 now, including Denmark and like but he's only here every so often. Like, but like the chat has only got like us in it, like you know the fucking hardcore Japanites on the regular. But my videos get like 20 hits like pretty much all the time. It fluctuates between like 40, 30, 16, and like I never see 20 is in the chat ever. Like, so there's obviously people watching me that like catch me later and like stuff. Like, I love it. Like, I love watching my like my tiny little sapling of a stream grow over time, like, and getting like small microcosm events or like experiences that are like a direct correlative comparison to what own experiences. Like, people have like called me racist and shit, but it's only like 1 or 2 randomers, like, do you know what I mean? And then there's like people hating on me when the Jort Wars went down and all. That Liz Antoinette bitch got onto my like reposted my stream and something and like called me sad because I turned around to the chat and I was like, oh, Owen's gonna be on in about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna call it a day. I'll see us all later, like, you know, like I did the other day or yesterday or something, like, because he changed the time. And she was like, this sad man, you know, plans his stream around the Big Bear and all. It's like, I'm just being polite. Like, I'm a guy in his community, and I'm streaming to people in his community. Have you people no concept of honor and like etiquette and like fucking? Clearly not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know the answer to that question, but like, it genuinely is like repeatedly surprising, and like I get like taken aback. I seriously am like a naive and eternal fucking optimist most of the time, where I'm like, I keep being reminded that the reality is that there's loads of people like us in the realm, and like, you know, we want things to be good, true, and beautiful, and like we want to just like have fun and help people and do all these like wonderful things and like these like empowering, strengthening things, and like acknowledge the dark but choose the good, like, you know. And then you just have an seemingly endless supply of fucking demons. And it's like the Borg, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't matter how many of them you kill, it doesn't matter how like many of them you disconnect from the Matrix, it doesn't, like, you know, the hive mind, it doesn't matter like how many examples, like I always get reminded of that. I got, somebody sent me like a small version of the Bible. It's like a watered down version of the Bible, like a paperback thing. And I didn't even read all of it. Maybe I should, like, but I kind of got bored. Like, I'm not a big reader. I'd listen to it. I'm very audible. But like, there's this bit that I remember reading, and I don't know if this is actually the correct interpretation, but what I got from reading that part, it's like a paragraph where Jesus is like on a fucking I think he's on a cliff or he's in a fishing village or something, I'm not sure, but like he's in some place, and he's already like healed a guy of his blindness, cured some lepers, fed a lot of people. Like, he's already done multiple miracles, and then some guy comes up to him, and I think it's like something to do with like his arm is missing or so. I can't remember the details, but I remember reading it, and like the impression I got was that Jesus like finally turned around and was like, fucking hell, how many of you, like, how many times do I have to prove that I am the Son of God, and like, you know, these things are true, and like God will provide, and you don't need me, and like, you know, like, you don't need the church, and like, it's like he finally lost his patience and got frustrated. And I laughed out loud while I was reading it. I was like, that's hilarious, that's so relatable, cause like I've experienced that, and I'm not fucking Jesus, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not even remotely close to that nigga, like. And it's like, it does not matter how many times you prove miracles are possible, or you prove, like, with undeniable evidence that this beautiful, fantastic experience of life has these like parameters and rules to it, and if you just behave accordingly. Shout out to fucking what's the guy who always says that? Wrangler Star? I love that nigga. Really cool. Seems like an absolute legend. He always like ends his videos with, remember, behave accordingly. Or act accordingly. I love that phrase. Paint. It's so fucking true. It's like, just be honest. You know? I always thought it was funny the way honest and honor are like, they have the same, you know, first three letters at the start. They seem to be etymologically related. Being honest and being honorable and having honor and having honesty. Like, just be in honor. Like, it's actually not that difficult. Don't get me wrong. Over time or on a given day, it can be extremely stressful, and it can like take a lot of your willpower and shit to like, you know, put up with all this crap and stuff. But it's like, it's so worth it. It's not even fucking funny. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it really is a divine tragedy or a divine comedy, depending on what way you look at it. Like, you know, and I look at it as a divine comedy. Because even in the moments where you may experience tragedy, given enough time, you look back on things and you're like, ha, no way. Like, and I've said that before on the stream. Like, you know, I told you guys about the time that, like, my friend made that joke. Or, no, I made the joke because my friend was like, I was complaining about my mother, and it was just me and him in my kitchen. We came back from a night of drinking, and I was complaining about my mother and her behavior and our mindset at the time. We were still in a very bad place, and like the home and the structure and the relationship and all, like a lot of dark stuff. And he just goes like, "Chap, fuck your ma," you know, like fuck her. And I just looked at him and went, "You did." And like, I started immediately laughing, and he like smiled, and he was like, "Oh my god," like, and he was like, "Oh my god, bro," like, and he did laugh, like, but there was that sense of like, whoa, like, cause he like, he realized what level of consciousness I was on at that time, and it's like, it's like I was saying at the start of the stream, it's like, I have been and can get hit by incredibly like high level emotional trauma, you know. I'm not like, I haven't like been shot. I've never been in a street fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't grow up in a family that had like insane like criminal or drug abuse. You know, I didn't get repeatedly beaten as a child. I didn't get like the physical manifestation of high level trauma. But fuck me, did I get like a really high level of emotional and spiritual trauma. And like, I've survived it. I've like adapted, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I suppose I was blessed with the sense of humor that allowed me to do so. And like, I've experienced that a few times where like, I'll make a joke and have a smile on my face about something. Like, I think it only recently, it happened last night with the female. Well, I was like talking about something, and then I ended up being like, yeah, I mean, like, when you look at animals that like eat their young and all, like, I suppose you could make a logical conclusion that that's why some like occult groups cannibalize each other and like eat babies and stuff, like, but like, it's not efficient because like humans gestate for 9 months and stuff. It's like, what, you're gonna wait 9 months for a meal? Like, that's not gonna sustain you. It's crazy. And she was just sitting there going, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And I was like, yeah, but it's fascinating. You know, like, and like, I understand where she's coming from, like, you know what I mean, where she's like, oh my god, that's so dark. It's like, yeah, I know it's dark, but it's fascinating. You know, like, it's like, I believe in order to survive this realm with any sense of like, you know, your spirituality intact and like, you know, a good sense of humor and stuff like that, like, and be in a balanced, harmonious with your environment and shit. Like, I think, like, ultimately what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to witness the darkest fucking shit that exists, and then choose to to go with the most beautiful, brightest shit, you know, where it's like it's the Jedi and the Sith thing. It's like, yes, these things exist. They these things are, but that doesn't mean that like that that is all there is. You know, whereas like the dark forces actively choose, they surrender their will, or they choose with their will to be like, it's only dark matters, and like the dark is the truth, and like and all this stuff, and like a lot of what they say is true, but like it's like evil cannot create, it can only manipulate. They literally, like, every fucking time in all given scenarios, they constantly take from the good, true, and beautiful, and invert it and pervert it and manipulate it. I mean, look at what just happened with Warhammer 40k. Even if you don't follow Warhammer 40k, look it up on YouTube or something, or like fucking find a video talking about it, because it's very important in the culture war that's happening right now. I think even like Vox Day mentioned it. It was like Warhammer 40k has finally converged, and they held out for so long. They held out for so long, but the woke horde has finally conquered Warhammer 40k, and that's tragic. That's tragic, But it was bound to happen. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think the unfortunate, maybe not unfortunate, but like the reality is that all of these things are going to fall and converge. But all I see it as is an opportunity for people like us to like be the new guard, the new vanguard. Like, I can see Tactical Turtles being like something like Warhammer, where the good guys are the turtles and the bad guys are the thing I am not going to spill the beans on yet because it's fucking awesome. It's like clear, defined parameters of morality. Like I was saying the other day, it's like we need cartoons, video games, movies, comic books that bring people back and remind the populace that like good, true, and beautiful is possible. It doesn't have to be this like degenerative, perverted, energy, soul-sucking fucking chaos, like, And like that's why Warhammer lasted so as long as it did, is because Warhammer set those parameters. These are the good guys, this is why they're the good guys, and these are the bad guys, and this is why they're the bad guys. And it was very clearly defined, even like aesthetically, you can just tell by looking at something that it's evil, Like if you take the Chaos or the Necrons, like the Necrons are these metallic, these metal skeletons that have like no expression, like, do you know what I mean? They're just these deadpan, dead looking fuckers, but they're like, they still have souls, I think, but like they are, or are they described as soulless automatons? I can't remember, but they're just like robots. They're ancient robots that like gave up their biological forms for power, and they are essentially cursed to an eternity of being like the war machine of malevolent and deceptive gods. And then you have the Chaos, which are actually they're the good guys that went bad. They're the good guys that choose bad, because there is a dimension of chaos that is all about just like there's all the four main chaos gods. There's the one that causes pestilence. He rules over disease and pestilence and degeneracy. And I mean like degenerative entropy, entropy, pestilence, and like I think it's famine as well. I'm not sure. And then there's the one that's like wrath and murder and blood and violence and rage. So there's that one's corn, and Nurgle is like, everything's fat and infected and bloated, and there's like pus and like fucking blisters and like, it's just horror. And then there's another one that's like actually kind of cool looking, but it's to do with time and like you know, endless possibilities. That's like like in that aspect of chaos where it's like, you know, this kind of etheric, you know, time does not exist, but at the same time it does, kind of thing. Like he's able to like turn things to dust and stuff. And then the other one is Slanesh, which is all about like desire and how would you describe it? Like the 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 base sin, you know, essentially it's all about sex and like pleasure. Like there's one of the there's infantry units in that army that exist in a constant state of like overwhelming sensory climax and stuff, but it's actually like driven them mad because like they get like an insane amount of like pleasure out of like everything, you know, just anything, and they're just like fucking like they're crazy, like, you know. It's like it is like currently, you know, as it stands, still one of the coolest fucking IPs that's ever existed, in my opinion. But the WoW Cord have finally got to it, and like it's only gonna go down from here. Gepu. Um, which is it's like tragic and like unfortunate and shit like that. Like, you know, it's kind of similar to like over the years, if you were like me and you watched stand-up comedy slowly degrade over time because all the comedians were starting to sell out. It's essentially the same. The same thing is happening to the gaming world now, where games like Helldivers 2 and what would be another example? I can't think of one right now, but like games like Helldivers 2 that don't give a fuck about politics. They are just openly like, we made this game because it's cool and fun, you know? And like everyone's trying to apply their ideology to it and all this shit, and like the developers are like, fuck off, we don't care. We don't care about your trans shit. We don't care about your anti-trans shit even. Like we don't care. We just we like making really fun, entertaining video games. So they made a really fun and entertaining video game. It's awesome. Um, I need to wrap it up, so I'll stop ranting and I'll catch up on chat. Gentle slope, gentle slope yellow or gentle slope yellow is hilarious. That's a hilarious name for a color. Gentle slope yellow. That's fucking. That was hilarious. Like I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Demon Hunter Bear ends up coming up with like 50% of the fucking names for that thing. Like it was you who came up with lesbian hair blue, wasn't it? Or was it Griff or something? I can't remember. 5 minutes past midnight black. You see, that's not offensive enough. That's just like a creative way to describe a color. Like, do you know what I mean? It has to hit a nerve rhetorically, but not be obscene. Which I know is like, you know, kind of hard to pull off, but that's kind of the point. That's what makes them brilliant. Like, you know, like gentle slope yellow is hilarious because it kind of implies that, like, you know, you'll have this like Asian person who's very meek or whatever, like, but it's like taking the piss out of their eyes. Like, that's a funny one. Like I don't know, like fucking. Yeah, like I can't, like I'm not good at that shit. Like, see, this is what's happening to my mind right now, live on the YouTube, is exactly why I don't refer to myself or think I am a comedian, because I don't possess the skill to construct something as sophisticated as that. Do you know? Like, I'm really good at just coming off at like improvising. I'm a really good improviser, and like I can just like come up with something in the moment that's like really funny and shit. Like the thing I put in the Telegram chat the other day about the fucking somebody mentioned like saints and how, like, you know, that religious stuff of like you know, we have this guy's hand, this like shriveled up old hand, and like yeah, like, where we go? Yeah, Demon Hunter Bear said, from my understanding, it's mostly an Orthodox Christian thing where they keep the mummified foot of a saint or something and do rituals with it. And I turned around and said, I know, right? In quotes. This eyelid belonged to Saint Pius Kidfuckus III, whose connection to the divine was irrefutable. Bro, that's a raisin. Heretic! like that's hilarious. And it just like came to me in the moment, like, do you know what I mean? But like, I am not good at like meticulously designing something that is like really fucking funny for very like almost like scientific reasons when it comes to like what makes something funny. I'm not good at that shit. But I'm really good at that stuff where like somebody like, was a three top air was like nuns freak me out. And I was like, I'm married to God. Okay, how exactly did you consummate the marriage? It doesn't work like that. So how is it marriage? Heretic? Like, you know, it's like I'm good at that shit. Like, 15-second black. Yeah, like that. That's a real inside joke, though. Like, you know, like that's what I mean. Like, I'd like, Owen would probably be able to come up with like the whole palette in like minutes. You know, Owen would probably be able to construct a whole color wheel of offensive fucking names for colors in about fucking 15 minutes or less. Like, but I find it really difficult to do. But the other shit, I'm like just fucking like I'm really good at that shit. Like, and I've always been really good at that shit. I think I was just blessed with that kind of talent. Like, cause I used to love doing improv drama in school and stuff like that. Like, and I think it's because I don't have any fear. Like similar to Owen, where he's kind of like that what you call it, that like that lack of like social fear and stuff like that. Like I couldn't give a fuck what people think. Like, and I know that comes across as arrogance sometimes, but like that's an inaccurate description of what I'm actually doing in those moments. Like, you know, it's called courage. You know, something that a lot of people are lacking in these days. COVID was the biggest glaring example of most people's lack of courage. But anyway, I must say adieu, my beloved Japanites. I'll catch up with the chat first. You have been planning these color names, haven't you, Desmondo? It sounds like that. There's some of them are so good that it fucking sounds like that. Like, genuinely, like, Demon Hunter Bear is a funny fucker, you know? For anyone who hasn't noticed, Demon Hunter Bear is a funny cunt. Like, when we're playing video games together and all, the two of us do be in fits of laughter. Like, I'll make him laugh about something and then he makes me fucking laugh out loud about something. Like, he's a funny cunt. Like, piss drinking is where I draw the line. Yeah, like, I get it, you know, but I suppose, like, it's just, I'll admit there's an element of madness to me, where like I definitely have the potential to genuinely just become a madman. But like I'm far from, like, I'm still pretty far away from that point, and I'm always like aware of, like, you know, trying to ground myself in reality. It's like I said the other day, it's one of the reasons why I've stayed with Wishy for so long, is like she reminds me of what the rest of you are like. But like I do that, like, you know, like I would totally be like, I'd be like, fuck it, like if it works, it works. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like don't knock it till you try it. But that's where you also fought, like, that's why I'm like, you know, there's a potential for madness there, because like you could say that about like some really dark, horrible shit. Like, don't knock it till you try it. It's like, you know, fucking, oh, I could never, like, I could never, like, murder a woman and eat her baby. It's like, well, don't knock it till you try it. Like, it's like, this, like, I have a line. It's just like, it's further up the ladder than most people, but not in a bad way. It's in a curiosity of knowledge and utility way. You know, when I see something as like, when I see something that may have some utility, but it has like this much utility and like the majority of it is like, oh my god, that's fucking dark. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't be into that at all. Like, but like drinking your own piss just seems like a very logical thing. Like in the sense of like, um, your body, from what I've experienced and from what I've seen and heard, we have been designed in a way that like anything we could possibly need in a sustenance sense for a lot for a in terms of healing or making sure that we're like functioning at like peak capacity or optimum capacity. I think your body contains pretty much everything you could possibly need at any given point. Now that's not to say that like fucking well, if you drink your own piss and it's good for you, can you eat your own shit? One does not equal the other. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like these two are not the same. We know that urine is sterile, but and like it contains a lot of like depending on your diet, it contains a lot of minerals and stuff like that. Like, and from what I've heard from Tom Barnett and Chris Gardner, it is essentially a way of it's almost like a self-diagnosis in a sense, where you could like I've heard that drinking your first piss in the morning is a really good way to do a self-diagnosis of how acidic your body is. um I recently seen on the Biocharisma chat there that a woman went on I think it was a 3-day aged urine cleanse, and she passed like three small uh organic things that like could easily be described as like tumors or like collections of fat cells or something like that. Like, and I totally get like how that would, like, I've just said this before. It's like your body, the human body is a amalgamate, like any creature, I suppose. But like, when we're talking about the human body, our bodies are a biological alchemical machine to such a sophisticated degree that our capacity to heal ourselves is like fucking insane. Like, how funny is it that not eating and drinking is, like, funny enough, one of the best ways to like heal yourself in a lot of ways. Like, it's weird. Like, um, probably ways before that actually. Yeah, like, yeah, same. I'm not Irish enough for that. I know. Yeah, the whole fucking that's kind of funny, isn't it? Like it is kind of funny in it where it's like because we have a poor relationship with alcohol culturally. Owen has made the rhetorical joke of like, oh, they drink their own piss as long as it had alcohol in it and stuff like that. Where it's like, I think I think one of the reasons the Irish were so resistant to like psychological stuff, and like Rome didn't conquer Ireland. I think Ireland and the Irish, I think we might be like descendants of like Atlanteans or some shit, and we just carried over a lot of old world knowledge, and that's why we seem quite like magical and etheric, and like the whole druids and like our language is quite unique. Gaeilge, the Celtic language and stuff like. Um, it's just, I think when you start to look at everything in a broad sense, and then you use your pattern recognition, a lot of it starts to make sense. A lot of the realm and a lot of the fucking supposed narratives and stuff like that, like whether they be true or not, like a lot of it starts to make sense. Like why people lie about things and why they have lied about things and so on and so forth. There is a moral justification. There is a genuine moral justification for withholding knowledge. I believe this to be true. I've returned. I've a large brasket of gravy for all Japanites. Give us the gravy, 2 Acre. Give us the gravy. Troon Mist Pink. They just come to me at random. Some hit, some miss. It's all in fun. Yeah, man, that's why it's like you and me are very similar. You just go with the flow. Some of it hits, some of it doesn't. Like, you know, you just keep throwing shit at the wall and like see what sticks. Summer of Love Black. Jeez. Hello, I'm late, but I'm here. Hello, Deirdre. Welcome to PEINTEINGU. Yes, it's a pretty epic PEINTEINGU, isn't it? And it's not finished, not yet, but it will be soon enough. It's no longer a sausage party. I know, it's nice having a few females in the chat. You know, you need that feminine touch to your environment. Moon cricket white. That's hilarious. Right, my beloved Japanites, I am going to leave it there. I have much to do. I hope you enjoyed today's PEINTEINGU. I did. Remember to like and subscribe. To click one of the many links in the description. Buy a t-shirt, especially a PEINTEINGU t-shirt. Some of the proceeds go to the greater Bertarian community. Support what you like, or it goes away. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. Be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same price, same high-octane PEINTEINGU energy. Much love, and God bless.